Hi, National Society of High School Scholars, members and families. Thank you so much for joining us for our university panel tonight. We have 4 wonderful universities represented and want to give each panelist their full amount of time to talk briefly about their university programs and offerings. Before we jump in, I want to introduce our panel. Caroline Ward is the Regional Dean at William and Mary. Ulysses de Armas is the Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Mamor NJ is the Associate Dean of International Admissions at Wake Forest. And Joan Hernandez is the Freshman Admission Counselor at UC Santa Barbara. Joan is having some audio issues, but we'll be going through her slides as well as answering some questions in the Q&A chat. With these introductions out of the way, Caroline, if you will start the presentations off, Ulysses, Mamor, and Joanne will follow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alyssa. Hi, everyone. I am going to pull up my slides now. Okay. Are they showing up okay on everyone's screen? Great, 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 great. Well, hello. Just to let you all know my name again, it is Caroline Ward, and I am a Senior Assistant Dean at the Office of Undergraduate Admission at William & Mary. I have worked at William & Mary over 7 years now, and I am the Regional Dean for students studying in Washington, D.C., as well as students who study internationally, all international students, including U.S. citizens living overseas. I do travel to these areas every year, so very exciting for me. And tonight I just want to share some helpful information about William & Mary and our application process. So just a little bit about our location. We are located in Williamsburg, Virginia. We are only about 20 minutes away from Yorktown Beach, an hour away from Richmond, Virginia. We are about an hour to an hour and a half away from Virginia Beach. And then we are also 2.5 hours away from Washington, D.C. So not very far at all. Now, those tuning in from Washington, D.C., I know it can be 14 hours on a Friday, right? But 2.5 hours otherwise. And we do have a DC campus. This is where you can spend a summer term, semester long term, or winter break term in Washington, D.C. Take William & Mary classes, get credit for those classes. And basically, you also have the opportunity to intern in Washington, D.C. as well. Now, that's if you choose the longer summer term or the semester long term. So you do have to choose a specific time period in order to get that internship experience. The DC Center and its opportunities are open to all majors at William & Mary. So it's not just government majors or international relations or political science interests. It can be any student within any department. But bringing it back to campus, I want to share some fun facts about William & Mary and some traditions that we celebrate on the campus. So we were chartered in 1693, so we are a little bit old. We are the second oldest college in the United States. But even though we are the second oldest, we have a lot of firsts ourselves at William & Mary. We had the very first law school. We have the first honor code, the first honor society, the first modern languages department, the first elective system, and the list goes on. In fact, the honor code is a big favorite first among our students. The honor code essentially goes to the effect of I will not lie, cheat, or steal in my personal or academic life. So a good honor code to live by. And then many other schools, colleges, universities base their honor code after William & Mary's. We do have over 115 majors, minors, and programs. At William & Mary, you can either major in one area, double major, or major in minor. Our student-to-faculty ratio is 13:1, and 100% of classes are taught by professors. So you will not have a class taught by a TA. All of your classes are taught by professors. Average class size, so half of our classes are under 40 students, and over 80% of our classes are oh, excuse me, I mixed up my numbers a little bit. Half of our classes are under 20 students, and then over 80% of our classes are under 40 students. And even your first year at William & Mary, you will have those smaller class sizes. So you will have classes capped off at 15, maybe 20 students. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So I know I mentioned the classes taught by faculty, but I do want to mention that 80% of our undergraduates do conduct research with a faculty member. That is a really high number. So you do have the opportunity to pursue research at William and Mary. It can be in any area of interest, any major, minor, any class that sparks your interest, you can pursue research in. And we do have research funding for your research projects. So you can get scholarship and aid to help cover the cost of maybe staying on campus to conduct your research for a summer term, or if you need to travel for your research, or you want to conduct research in another state, you can get funding for that as well. And then I know it says number 4 here, but we actually were just ranked just like a week ago, number 1 in the United States for participation in study abroad for public universities, which is really, really exciting. Study abroad is huge at William and Mary, and study abroad programs range from summer terms to semester-long term. You can even study abroad for a spring or winter break term, and we even have year-long programs. So study abroad is a big part of your time if you wish it to be so. About 60% of William & Mary students study abroad. I studied abroad twice in my undergraduate career. I absolutely loved it. Highly recommend it if you can do so. We do have a very unique program called the Joint Degree Program between William & Mary and the University of St. Andrews. I mentioned this program with study abroad because it is related to it, but a little bit different. With the joint degree program, you would spend a total of 2 years at William & Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, and 2 years in Scotland at the University of St. Andrews. That is all I'll share on the program because I will answer your questions if you have any about it. I know you have to share your questions in the Q&A box. Please feel free to do that about the joint degree program if you'd like to learn more. But just about William & Mary in general, bringing it back to the overall university campus, we have about 6,800 undergraduate students, so we are a medium to small size school. We are kind of known as that smaller arts and science college while also being a big research university. We do have students from all 50 states, DC, Puerto Rico, and over 60 different countries. We are a public university in Virginia, so we do keep our overall student body at 2/3 in-state, 1/3 out of state. So it is really great that we have such great representation in terms of those states and countries. And then a little bit more about study abroad. I know I have this slide here. Again, number 1 now this week. And then I shared that 60% of students study abroad. We do have a global education office where you can apply for scholarship to help cover the cost of those study abroad programs. In fact, we have nearly $1 million in scholarship to offer for study abroad programs alone. And then I do want to just talk a little bit more about overall campus life, but I do want to point out that joint degree program there at the end again. And then campus life at William & Mary in general. We do have nearly 500 clubs and organizations. We have, let's see, multiple improv groups. We have a bird club, which has a lot of bird watching involved in it. We have 12 a cappella groups, and we have 23 varsity sports that you can get involved in. We do have 45 club sports if you don't want to dedicate that time to varsity sports. And then we have many intramural games that you can play on a Saturday morning with your friends and compete for a t-shirt. So lots of ways to get involved. In fact, there's an activities fair every year at the beginning of every year where you can go to our Kaplan Arena and walk around and get to chat with the many different clubs that are tabling and find out what's available at William & Mary. We do have our alma mater productions, which is student run, where they put on guests to campus, so guest speakers. They also have a musician or an artist come to campus to perform. So they put on the concert every year. There are also musicals and plays that happen throughout the year. Our new Fine and Performing Arts Center just opened this past year. So a lot going on there. It is the year of the arts at William & Mary. And then we do have a wellness center right in the heart of campus. It is right next to the Sadler Center, which is our student center. The wellness center offers many resources such as counseling, nursing, and then it also has workshops like yoga and art therapy to offer. And those are just a few examples. In terms of applying to William & Mary, you do have to apply through the Common App. And with the Common application, there are fee waivers available through the Common App, and then there are William & Mary fee waivers available. You pick the one that best fits your situation if you would like a fee waiver with your application. And then within the application process, we do review holistically. So this means that we take everything you submit into account. So yes, we will look at your academics and look closely at those, make sure that you're prepared academically for the rigor of William & Mary, but also we will look at your personal qualities. We'll look at your letters of recommendation, your essays, your extracurriculars, and make sure that has that well-rounded application to it and that you are a well-rounded student. We are test optional, so you do not need the SAT or ACT in order to apply to William & Mary. If you do take the SAT or ACT, just know that we do super score. So if you take, let's say, the SAT more than once, we'll take your best reading or your best math from different test dates and combine them to make the best score possible. So you can certainly include your test scores if you think it's a great reflection on you as a student. And then some optional components. We do have some William & Mary additional short answer essays where you can choose up to 2 out of 5 of these short answer prompts. And that can be added to your application. And then we do have a fine and performing arts portfolio where you can submit through Sideroom. Does not obligate you to major or minor in the arts. It's just another way to add to your application. And then we do offer senior interviews where the summer before your senior year of high school or the fall of your senior year in high school, you can come to William & Mary's campus or virtually interview with a William & Mary senior. In terms of deadlines, in order to apply to William & Mary, if you are applying for freshman year or first year, let's say there's early decision 1 due November 1st, early decision 2 due January 5th, and regular decision due January 5th. And you can see on your screen there when you may be notified if you apply through one of those decision plans. In terms of early decision 1 and early decision 2, both of those are exactly the same, only with 2 different deadlines, just to give you more time for ED2, or if you want to find out sooner, you go ED1. With early decision, you are forfeiting the opportunity to compare financial aid packages because you are committing to William & Mary. So you are saying, if I am admitted to William & Mary, I will absolutely come to William & Mary. So you definitely want it to be your number 1 choice. But if you can't make that commitment, please feel free to apply regular decision. It is not binding. And then in terms of transfer applications, we have fall transfer due March 1st and spring transfer due October 1st. If you are thinking about transferring to William & Mary now or in the future, then you definitely want to apply through the Common App for transfer students. So I will exit now because I know we're limited in time. Please feel free to drop your questions right there in the Q&A, and then I will pass it along to our next presenter. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Caroline, for that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ulysses De Armas, and I am Associate Director of Undergraduate Admissions at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. Rensselaer is the oldest technological research university in the United States. We were founded in 1824. Troy, New York is part of the Capital District, or the Tri-Cities as we refer to ourselves. We are 3 hours north of New York City. We're 3 hours west of Boston and 3.5 hours south of Montreal, Canada. So we're in a really kind of unique, great position on the eastern part of upstate New York. We are a campus of about 5,800 undergraduate students. So we are by far an undergraduate university. We have about 11 to 1,200 graduate students. We are an institution of 5 very interconnected schools. We believe in interdisciplinary education so that even though every student will eventually have a specific major that they will focus in on, the curriculum at Rensselaer is very flexible so that it allows for students to pursue minors or dual majors in something totally unrelated to what it is that they're majoring in. So our architecture, School of Architecture, it's a 5-year Bachelor's of Architecture degree. A portfolio, a creative portfolio is required in order to be admitted into that particular program. The professors want that to be a creative portfolio rather than a technical portfolio. So students should be concentrating on making sure that they have paintings, drawings, photography, video, sculpture, rather than floor plans or tech drawings or mechanical drawings. Our School of Engineering is the largest of the 5 schools that we have. We have 11 majors, and students really do have 3 semesters to decide what it is that they want to major in. So when a student applies to Rensselaer for engineering, they can apply as one of the 11 majors or as an undeclared engineer. Either way, the student will have 3 semesters to figure out what it is that they want to do. We are a very immersive campus. We are very hands-on. So starting in your freshman year, you will have access to the different labs and the maker spaces that are available to all of the students. So if you're somebody who's looking for something like that, our engineering, all of our programs deliver very hands-on work, very hands-on programs on our campus. All students at Rensselaer have to complete at least 24 credits within the humanities, arts, and social sciences. There are 6 departments, and what we do is we offer pathways within the humanities. So every student has to choose a specific pathway. Each pathway is a series of 3 to 4 courses that have a general theme that run through them. So at Rensselaer, we don't have gen ed requirements, we have pathways. So you can do a pathway in psychology, you can do a pathway in music, in economics, in game design. There are 50 different options for you to choose. Once you've completed your pathway, generally speaking, you are either one course away from getting a minor, or you will have obtained a minor by completing that specific pathway. We also have some interdisciplinary programs within our School of the Humanities, Arts, and Social Sciences, such as GSAS, which is Games, Simulation, Arts, and Sciences, and then our Cognitive Science major, which is a combination of philosophy, psychology, and computer science. So a lot of our students who are doing research in artificial intelligence, computer-human interaction, minds and machines, that's a major that a lot of the students will kind of be attracted to. Our Lally School of Management is one of our smaller schools. It has 2 undergraduate programs. The main one is our Bachelor's in Business and Management. And then the newest major is our Bachelor's in Business Analytics, which is great for students who have strong backgrounds in math and science and who want to get into the world of data science as it relates to the business world. And then our School of Science is home to 6 departments and 13 majors. Computer science is the largest major on campus. You don't have to have a background in computer science in order to major in it. Comp Sci 1 is taught in Python. It is a lot of work. It's not a particularly difficult course, but you need to have really good time management skills in order to get through Comp Sci 1. And then Comp Sci 2 is data structures, and that is C++ and Java. And then our most interdisciplinary program is our Information Technology and Web Science major. That is our Applied Computer Science major. So that is for students who are looking to take their computer science skills, such as programming, coding, software development, and then apply them to a secondary thing that they are looking to do. So if you're somebody who is interested in cybersecurity, or you're looking to start a company, or you're just looking to take those skill sets in computer science and really apply them to something else that you have interest in, ITWS is probably the better major for you as opposed to computer science. And then through all of our biological science majors, we have different pre-health tracks so that if you're interested in going to medical school, we will get you ready academically, as well as prepare you for the MCATs and walk you through the application process for medical school. Life on campus, all students have to live on Rensselaer's campus for the first 5 semesters. So that is your first 2 years and then your first semester of junior year. Our student union is home to over 200 clubs and organizations. We have 23 varsity sports. 21 of them are Division III. Our only 2 Division I sports are men's and women's ice hockey. So on our campus, if you are not a hockey fan, you will become a hockey fan pretty quickly. We also offer club as well as intramural sports. Our intramural sports program is run through the residence halls, through your RAs and resident directors. We have a great program in the performing arts. The RPI Players is the theater group. We also have different orchestras, ensembles, vocal groups if you want to sing. We have dance groups as well on campus. So there's something for everybody on our particular campus. If you want to serve the community, we have several opportunities for you to be able to do that. So through the student government, you can get involved in community service. We also have very specific service clubs where you can do community service, and you're not only serving the campus, but you're also serving the Capital District or the Tri-Cities. And then we do have Greek life on campus. We have 28 fraternities and 5 sororities. Less than 20% of the students are involved in some type of a Greek program. We also, through our Career Center, will present, starting in freshman year, career opportunities for you. We do have co-op and internship experiences. We have all 3 branches of ROTC. Through our Rensselaer Union, we also have a variety of different diversity and inclusion clubs, including multicultural student organizations. We have clubs and organizations for the LGBTQ+ community as well as religious organizations. We have counseling services, student health center, disability services for students who have learning differences and want to be able to take advantage of those particular services. In terms of academics, in terms of admissions, we do a holistic transcript review. We want to see 3 years of science, 4 years of math, including math in your senior year. We are test optional, again, for those of you who are applying for 2024. We require 1 academic recommendation letter, and it should be from a STEM teacher. We want to see an activities resume and leadership. Your essay personal statement is something that we pay very close attention to. In terms of portfolios, architecture and music, they are required. Our game design and electronic arts majors, it is optional. And then what are the student qualities that we are looking for? We're looking for good collaborators. We're looking for creative thinkers, people who are innovative, who want to start new things, new ventures, people who are good at thinking outside of the box, and also people who are looking for very hands-on education. So that's my time, and I will move on.
Thank you, Ulysses. All right, I guess it is my turn to share a little bit about Wake Forest University. Can everybody see me or see the screen?
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right, so thank you again for being here. Thank you for having me. My name is Mamor Njai, and I currently serve as the Associate Director for International Admissions at Wake Forest University. It's just a way to say that I do most of my work with international students, travel to those territories, and also review their applications, but also help my colleagues when it comes to the domestic work that we do within the United States as well. So if you have not heard about Wake Forest University, we are located in the city of Winston-Salem. We are about 90 minutes from the Raleigh-Durham Airport in North Carolina, if you're familiar with that, or 75 minutes away from Charlotte. There's a local airport in the city of Greensboro, about 30 minutes away from here. So pretty much our students, whether they are from the US or from another country, they can easily find a flight that lands at Greensboro and just catch an Uber, a taxi, and get straight to campus in 30 minutes. We have a campus of a little bit over 5,000 undergraduate students, and almost all states from the United States and 48 countries are represented in our undergraduate student body. It is a very diverse student community composed of many students with different interests, diverse interests, and that is the kind of students that we are looking for, people who are coming to join our community. Usually we tend to look for students that are very open-minded, very ready to try different things at the same time. And as my colleagues mentioned earlier, someone who's ready to collaborate with their peers and come in and kind of have an impact on campus. To tell you a little bit about Winston-Salem, we are, again, a little town, I would say, of a little bit over, maybe a little bit less than 500,000 people. So Winston-Salem combined with the city, with the university, means a lot to us because we are doing our best to connect every single day with the city of Winston-Salem. Whether it's going to one of our festivals that we're having in the city, or whether it's just going to get some coffee at the coffee shops next door. Our students are part of the community, and the citizens of Winston-Salem are part of the culture that we are trying to instill within the campus as well. So whether you're into going to the movie theaters or getting some coffee or just catching a baseball or football game, you can find that in Winston-Salem. And again, we are just about 75 minutes away from the city of Charlotte. So usually students can just catch a cab or get on an Uber and just go to Charlotte if they want to do some shopping, or if you just want to go to the airport, or just see a bigger city, because Charlotte, as its metropolitan city, has everything, when it comes to sports or concerts and festivals. So our students do go there sometimes to have fun, sometimes for shopping, but also for professional reasons, whatever it is, for an internship or interview or a full-time position that they gain after graduating from Wake Forest University. An annex that we have about 12 minutes away from our campus is Wake Downtown. Wake Downtown is this amazing facility built by the university for our students interested in coding, programming, biomedical engineering, and pretty much anything that you can find in those big cities, in those big universities when it comes to research and lab and everything. We have it at Wake Downtown. And it's also an opportunity for our students to connect with our faculty member from the Wake Forest School of Medicine, the students in the School of Medicine, and also professors who are conducting research over there. So most of our students will take the shuttle from the campus and go to Wake Downtown, about 12 minutes again, and just go and enjoy their academics, I guess, with peers or with other people that they can get advice from, whether they're professors or mentors that they can find at Wake Downtown. When you get to Wake Forest University, you have an array of majors and minors to pick from. Our average class sizes is usually very small. The student to faculty ratio is 11:1, which gives us an average class size of a little bit, probably, I would say, less than 20 students, right? We follow a liberal arts curriculum, and as one of my colleagues mentioned earlier, it means that pretty much we get to instill in you this sense of, trying many things at the same time and being involved in different things at the same time. We understand that coming to Wake Forest, you'll be 16, 17 years old. We are not asking you to pick a major right now. We're not asking you to make a life decision right now. We want you to come in and make sure that you can try many things at the same time. And so for your first year, you have, of course, classes that everybody takes, such as the first year seminar, your writing seminars, a foreign language class, and your health and exercise sciences classes, right? And then we make sure that in every division that we have, you at least take 1 or 2 classes there. So the humanities, the fine arts, the math and natural sciences, and that opens up new doors. That opens up, new opportunities for you to say, okay, I came in as a dance major, or I came in liking political science, but what if I double major with music? What if I combine psychology to my business interest, right? Trying to see and discuss with your professors, with your advisors, and see what you can combine. How can I add a major? How can I add a minor? How can I, triple major? I don't recommend, but some people maybe might think about that, right? So we follow that curriculum to allow you to be that person in the classroom that keep asking questions and keep looking for more academically. And then outside of the classroom, we also have opportunities for you to go and kind of look for as many opportunities as possible, as many things, that you cannot find outside the classroom, in the classroom, I mean. So one of those things is, for example, Wake Washington, which is an opportunity for our students to go to Washington, D.C., and spend time over there in the Capitol Hill and kind of learn about the different things that people do when it comes to politics or the diplomatic areas in Washington, D.C. And also, it also means studying abroad. We own houses in different countries. So as you can see on the pictures, there's a house owned by Wake Forest University in Venice, Italy. There's another one in London, England. There's another one in Vienna, Austria, right? And those houses are spaces where our students can travel for a whole semester abroad with other peers from the university and one professor who will be their mentor, their chaperone, if you want to call it, kind of, sharing that experience with them. And we want our students to take part of those opportunities that we offer them. It's not only limited to these 3 countries. We have over 75 other countries that you can pick. And if you have any idea of wanting to study in Australia or wanting to study in Paris, you bring it to us and we make sure that you fulfill that dream of studying abroad in a different part of the world. Once you get to Wake Forest University, we have what we call a 3-year residency requirement, meaning that for the first 3 years, you are required to stay on campus. The South Campus of our university is reserved for our first-year students, but there's still that 3-year residency requirement. And then after that, on your 4th year, you can feel free to stay on campus if you want, or go off campus, get an apartment with your friends, and kind of prepare for the next steps of your life. So it is something that we are very proud of, because we are in a very small town, in a very small community. We are only a little bit over 5,000. We're in a town that is a little bit less than 500,000 people. And we want to create that sense of community on the campus. We want you to live on campus and know these people that you are going to class with, that you're cheering at games with, because this is your new family. These are people that you'll be with maybe, and create some bond for the rest of your life, right? So we want to create that sense of community by having you on campus for 3 years and connecting every single semester with different people, so that you don't only see people on your floor, or you don't only see people in your dorm area. You can always meet new people and that create the family at the end of your 3 year. And most of our students actually do stay for their 4th year on campus. Our motto at Wake Forest is Pro Humanitate. What does it mean? It means for humanity. When you come to Wake Forest University, you want to, yes, have an impact in the classroom, but also once you leave Wake Forest, what are you representing? Who are you representing? What is your impact in your community, in the world, in your city, in your family? We want you to start thinking about the different possibilities of what you can do for people, right? And over 40% of our undergraduate students actually, for example, do participate in those kind of events that we have on campus, such as Hit the Bricks or Wake and Shake, which recently happened. And imagine students and faculty members and family members standing up for 12 hours dancing and raising money. This past year, I was saying this past month, we raised over $3 million just for cancer research, right? So this is something that we do to tell the community, to tell people that we are Wake Forest, and this is what we are trying to create within our community, a community of impact. So if you have that mindset of also helping people, of also looking around you and seeing what your community needs, Wake Forest is the place for you. And it's the same thing when it comes to having fun. We have, like I said earlier, festivals and plays that we organize on campus to showcase different cultures and religions and people from all around the world. And we are proud to say that our students are part of so many activities on campus that kind of open up their minds when it comes to learning about people's cultures and people's religions and other things as well. Another thing that is very important for us at Wake Forest is that we are a founding member of the ACC. We are a Division I school, and therefore sports plays a big role on our campus, right? We do have, I believe, we do have 19 teams that we have on campus. So imagine just cheering for many, many sports at the same time. As you can see, football is a big one, and men's soccer, women's basketball is pretty amazing as well, and also our golf team. So we do make sure that our students, the same community that we created on campus, join their friends and dorm mates and roommates and join them and cheer for them on the field as well. So another thing that we are very proud of is that we do play in the ACC again. We do play in against top schools around the United States, but we are very, very proud of the community that comes and cheer on our teams because, you know, one, it scares our opponents, but second, it shows that we are also a solid community. All right. Now, the next step is to tell you a little bit about applying to Wake Forest University. When you apply to Wake Forest University, of course, you'll have to submit your application through the Coalition for College or through the Common App. As you can see, we have different rounds for priority deadline and for merit-based and our presidential scholarships, right? So when you apply to Wake Forest University, we have an ED1 round, early decision, and an early action round that we just started this year for first-generation college students. If you're applying for those two rounds, of course, the deadline has passed, which was November 15. If you're applying for our early decision 2 round, or you're applying for our regular decision round, the deadline for those will be January 1st, right? So as my colleague said earlier, if you're applying ED, it means that you are pretty much telling the school that you are my first choice. I'm applying to you, and if I'm admitted, I am withdrawing my application from any other school that I applied earlier. So this is a very, very important decision that you're making towards a university. So if you're a junior or sophomore right now and thinking about applying for college right now, it is a conversation to start right now with your advisors and your family members as well. And then ED2 and regular decision will stay as January 1. And if you are first-generation college students, feel free to apply for our early action, which is November 15 for next year. The 2024 and 2025 FAFSA will be delayed, and so we are communicating with our Office of Financial Aid. If you see on the right part of my screen, there is a QR code that can allow you to kind of get an estimate, especially for parents, the net price calculator. You can also find that on our website. But students, the steps, I'm sure your advisors and other people helping you for your application will tell you that you'll have to submit your FAFSA, submit your CSS profile, and then submit your tax information when you're applying to Wake Forest University. All right. And we have one last part of our application, because when you're applying to Wake Forest, we want to know a little bit more about you. So we kind of created these options where you get to share your voice. So we get to kind of get to know you from your own voice, right? So we have supplemental responses. You see a very fun one called the top 10 list. Is my favorite because you get to build a top 10 list of anything that you want. Top 10 list of your favorite candies or your favorite drinks at Starbucks or whatever you want to talk about. You can also have the chance to submit a video to tell us a little bit about yourself, or you can join one of our counselors and sign up for an optional interview. So, and that from there we get to learn a little bit more about you and hear from yourself, right? We have been one of the first schools to go test optionals for the past, I believe, 15 years, and we are and will be test optional for the upcoming years. So it means that we are truly test optional, and it means that also if you took the test and you feel like your SAT or your ACT scores really reflect or add some kind of added value to your application, feel free to submit them. But again, it's optional. So if you do not want to submit your scores, you're not obligated to do so. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. Thank you for listening, and I'm happy to answer any question you might have in the chat. Thank you for listening.
Now we will have Joanne present her slides, and she will answer any questions in the Q&A.
Just a reminder, as we're going through these slides pretty quickly, we will be adding this recording on our website, so you can review the slides in 24 to 48 hours in the link that is in the chat. I will also add that in there again. Awesome. Thank you so much to all of our panelists tonight. We are going to kick off the Q&A. I've seen that you guys are answering some of those throughout the Q&A box. So one of the questions we're going to start out with is, what is one thing that sets your university apart from all the other top colleges or universities in the US? So if you had to pick one thing, what would that be? Caroline, if you want to go ahead and start.
Okay, the number one thing that comes to mind is one that other colleges and universities might be able to say, and we each 100% believe it. But with William and Mary, I'd say the community really is special. With our overall student body, undergraduate student body, about 6,800, it's a really nice size. And as one of my colleagues in the office likes to say, every day you see someone you know and you meet someone new. So it's right around that size of a campus community. And people at William and Mary are very close knit, and the faculty student relationships are very close knit, and you can always contact your professor if you have additional questions or it's after class hours. Students make their lifelong friends at William and Mary. My younger sister attended William and Mary as an undergrad, so I really got to know that. I hold a master's from William and Mary, and I just know even from that graduate student level, the community is certainly a lifelong one, and it's one that you can always access and reach for even after graduation. But I will pass it along to the next person.
Ulysses, if you want to go ahead and answer that.
Oh, sure, great. I think the one thing that that kind of makes Rensselaer unique is our size and the fact that we are a medium-sized campus. And as I was answering in one of the questions in the box, we really do foster a very collaborative community at Rensselaer. So we don't put students in competition against one another academically. And so that happens right away. We have great mentorship programs starting in freshman year. So fostering that collaborative community really drops down the defenses of a lot of students, and it really gives them the opportunity to trust each other, and to rely on each other, and to be able to work with each other. We feel that collaboration is the best way to solve problems, and those are the people who come to Rensselaer, are people who are looking to be creative problem solvers. And so it's very important for us, and I think it makes us rather unique in that way.
I wish I went first because those are all, great answers. But I think one thing that makes Wake Forest special for us is in our motto, is pro humanitate. I think it's that sense of doing something for the humanities, the sense of having an impact in your small community or in the country or wherever you go, knowing that you can bring something good out of the situation you're in. You can collaborate with people, keep those relationships with your professors and your peers, whether you're still a student or after graduation. You can go somewhere and create something. So I think that mindset that our students have of wanting to do more every time is something very special that I see on campus.
Awesome. And then the next question I'm just going to ask before we kind of dive into any of the ones you've answered in the Q&A already, if you want to talk to those out loud. But for all of you, what is it like living on campus? Do you guys have dining halls? Is there events that are at the, at the residential living, stuff like that? If you want to describe some of those.
Sure. So in terms of living on campus, residence life, you are required to live on campus at William & Mary your first 2 years outside of high school. And in terms of residence life, the first year dorms are spread out all over campus. So you're not just, grouped together in one corner. You're spread out all over, and you will always be within a 2 to 3 minute walk of a dining hall. And then our student center, the Sadler Center, is right in the heart, in the middle of campus. So a lot of students like to gather there. And there are activities, especially your first year, where you really get to know the students in your residence hall. You will have RAs, so resident assistants, who will be upperclassmen who, know a lot more about the community, can take you on informal campus tours to make sure you know how to get around. But there will be activities during orientation week and move-in week where you get to know everyone, like going out to a dining hall together. And they're not giant residence halls where, they're like 300 people living in one. They're very small and very nice size, so you do get to really know the people on your floor really well, if not the whole building, because there will be fun games and there will be meetings throughout the year, so you get to know one another. Students don't tend to leave campus on the weekends because they do want to hang out with their friends. They want to get together in study groups. They want to go to Colonial Williamsburg right next door and hang out at the farmers market or go to the arts festival. So there are always activities going on right there in the heart of Williamsburg, which is where the campus is located.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of that, we require our students to live on campus for the first 5 semesters. So that's their first 2 years, and then their first semester of junior year, which is actually a summer semester. And it's a whole involved program that we have for the juniors at Rensselaer. We do have what is called Freshman Hill, where the majority of our freshmen live, but we have freshmen who are spread out throughout the campus as well. We have several dining halls. Everybody who lives on campus has to have a meal plan in order to go along with their residential life. We have a program for first-year students. They're the first ones on campus at the start of the school year. They come to campus typically a week before the upperclassmen do, and they go through what we call our NRB experience, or Navigating Rensselaer and Beyond. It's an overnight experience where students have signed up to go whitewater rafting or camping, hiking, a series of different fun activities, both on campus and off campus, just so that students can kind of get to know their peers a little bit better, get to know the faculty and staff, get to know campus, as well as their immediate surrounding area. And then those activities continue on throughout their freshman year in the residence halls through their resident advisors and directors.
Yeah, and at Wake Forest, like I said earlier, you are required to stay on campus for your first 3 years. So like my colleague said, we make sure that you have the opportunities to kind of build a community, a family on campus. We have your regular RAs who will be students just like you, upperclassmen who will be in your buildings, making sure that you have everything you need, and hosting some events every month or every week, some dinners to get to know the community better. We have faculty fellows, which are faculty members that are living on the campus and living in your building, making sure that they can also sometimes organize some events and meet with you to connect with the students that are living there. All our first year students will live on the south of campus, and then after that, they can be spread out all over the campus. And the same thing, you need to have a meal plan to kind of be around campus and use the different facilities that we offer for food. But at the same time, you can also use it at our Einstein Bros and Einstein Bagel store on campus, or the Starbucks or Chick-fil-A or other stores that we have on campus if you kind of get tired of eating in your residence halls as well. So many opportunities and for the students as well.
Awesome. And as we're wrapping up some of the Q&A, it looks like you guys have been answering a ton of questions in here. One last question I want to ask for you all to answer aloud is, what would it look like for you guys, these members, to be able to visit your campus? Do you have tours that are available? Is there virtual tours? All of that. How can they get those resources?
Yes, great question. So William & Mary does offer on-campus visit opportunities, such as an information session and guided tour by a current William & Mary student. These info sessions and tours are offered almost every weekday, as well as select weekends of the year. And in fact, our calendar live right now online for those guided tours and information sessions runs up until through December. And then our calendar for the spring, so January through April, will be live on December 1st. So definitely feel free to sign up for an on-campus tour. If you can't make it to campus, we do have a wonderful virtual tour online. I know I dropped some links in the chat. Definitely go to wm.edu and check out our virtual tour. It is a wonderful U-Visit tour that really shows you an in-depth look into student and campus life. But if you can make it to campus, we have a pretty great guided tour by current William & Mary students. If you do come to campus and we aren't offering guided tours that day, we do also have a self-guided tour. Other opportunities to get to know William & Mary's community include our fall focus days, which run throughout the fall of every year, where we have a panel as well as a guided tour and info session. And then we also offer virtual and in-person interviews for those high school seniors. We offer shadow opportunities where, as a high school student, you can shadow a William & Mary student for a day where you go to their classes with them as well as have lunch with them. And then we have our class visit opportunities where you can sit in on a William & Mary class on your own. So feel free to sign up for those and register for those on our website.
Yes, at Rensselaer, Monday through Friday, we have 2 opportunities to do an in-person information session, followed by a guided tour by a current student ambassador. And then on Saturdays, we typically have a couple of opportunities as well. Because it's starting to get cold up here in the Northeast, we will be postponing our Saturday information sessions and tours until the spring. But feel free to, if you're going to come up and you're here during the week, Monday through Friday, every week, we do have opportunities for in-person information sessions and tours. We also have on Thursdays, we have Thursday evenings, we have an information session that is given by an admissions counselor and a current student ambassador. And then you can also do a virtual tour on campus of different buildings that we have. And then on selected Tuesdays, we do have a webinar that is given by 4 of our current student ambassadors, where they will do the presentations. And you will learn why they chose to come to Rensselaer. They'll talk about their majors. They'll talk about any research that they may be doing, as well as what their future plans are once they have graduated from Rensselaer.
Yeah, and at Wake Forest, we also offer campus tours Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 5 p.m. You can come to the Welcome Center. It's best to register in advance because those get full pretty quick. I share the link on the chat for students who are interested in registering. You can also take a self-guided tour to explore the campus on your own, or you can also check out our virtual campus tour. And also, once a semester, we have some specific events, one called A Day in the Forest, where you get to kind of be with a group of other prospective students from all over the US that are coming to campus and kind of spend time on campus and visit with their parents, other things that we offer on campus as well. So many opportunities, whether it's in person or virtual, that we offer.
Awesome. And as we wrap up tonight, one of the things we like to do is ask you guys for one bit of advice that our members can take with them when they're transitioning from high school to college. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that and say some final remarks, we will go ahead and end the session after that. Thank you, guys.
Oh, I love this question. So, my piece of advice would be, have fun during the college search process. I know it can be very stressful and you visit a ton of schools or you're looking into a ton of schools. The application process is stressful to get that all done. But as you're visiting campuses or virtually touring campuses or reaching out to community members, have fun with that process. Picture yourself on that campus, really meet with students at that campus, and it could be a really fun moment and a really fun process to picture yourself there.
Yeah, my piece of advice is really for both students and for parents. And my piece of advice is that the college application process is long, it's tricky, there's a lot to it, it can become very arduous. So my piece of advice is this should not be a topic of conversation at the dinner table every single night. There are plenty of other things that you as a family should be talking about. This is not one that you should be having every single night. Pick a day or an evening every couple of weeks or monthly to get updates as a parent as to what's happening, what are deadlines that are up and coming. But please don't have a conversation about the college application process every night at the dinner table. That will be the fastest way for your student to disengage from this process, which is not what you want to have happen. So that's, as someone who's been doing this close to 20 years, that would be my one big piece of advice.
Very important advice, Ulysses. And mine would be, I believe, students, you're about to pick your home for the next 4 years, right? It is something very, very important, right? You're about to, so most of you are thinking right now, I cannot wait to get out this house, right? Trust me, after 2 weeks, maybe you'll miss home. So make sure that you know every single information detail about that university that you're choosing. You are about to pick your home again. So ask questions to your counselors, ask questions to your parents, ask questions to people, your university representative, people who will be reviewing your application. Go to the campus if you can. Ask students who are there, what is their experience like? You know, how are they surviving academics and what do they do for fun? Ask as many questions as possible before you make your decision, right? And then at the end of the day, remember that you've done everything you could have done. You're great, and that if a university does not pick you, it's their loss because you're great. That's my last word of the night. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our panelists for encouraging our members and their families to learn more about your universities. The recording again will be on our website. The link is in the chat for reference. So thank you everyone and have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Have a good one.